Hey y'all, it's me, Gia Peppers, award-winning journalist and host of More Than That. Now we're taking our sonic journey from radio to TV, raising awareness about the issues that impact our communities to create solutions for the future. Welcome to a new journey of More Than That. We've come to the end of this season for our final TV episode. We're down here in Miami, Florida, where usually the beaches are on display, but today we're exploring the melting pot of Black and Caribbean culture. Right now, many communities here face adversities that threaten to unravel their very heritage. How do you protect your history, traditions, and culture in a space that's literally taking steps to erase them? Today, we acknowledge those doing the work to protect what they call home through cuisine passed down from generation to generation. Join us as we meet with 3 restaurateurs preserving our traditions and safe spaces in difficult times through one thing we all love: food.
When I first stepped foot in this town, I felt the energy of the diaspora pulsing through the streets. Our music, language, ideas, and customs are all electrified in this neighborhood. Amaris Jones keeps that energy alive through her cuisine. As founder of Chicken Jones, she infuses a taste of modern soul that reminds us about the importance of protecting our legacy and our traditions.
Hey everyone, okay, so we are here with Chef Amaris Jones at Chicken Jones in Miami. I am so excited to have you on the show today. One, because I know you are the chef, like Diddy, Rick Ross, so many people literally called you a personal chef, and now you are a restaurateur, and you've done so many incredible things. But let's go back to the beginning.
I learned how to cook pretty much from my family and the women at the church, because we used to serve the community. But when we were not cooking, my dad would surprisingly take me and my brother to different restaurants, and there was this one place called Chicken George. So Chicken George was a Black-owned franchise, and I thought it was just always, as a little girl, just so fascinating going there because it was Black-owned. I subconsciously just had that memory in my mind, and that's how I came up with Chicken Jones.
So how did we get here to having our own Chicken Jones in Miami?
I moved to Miami about 20 years ago. I became an estate manager, slight event producer for Sean Combs. But people would come into his house and they would always ask me questions about Miami life and where can they go find really good soul food where there was a vibe. There really weren't any places like that. So I would say, I can cook. Why don't you just come to my house and we can vibe like that? And it became a thing. It was
the vibe.
And that was the vibe.
Now, speaking of Black-owned restaurants and that scene, Miami is huge, like I was saying, but we don't know where Black-owned restaurants are all the time, and we don't know how to support chefs like you. So how important is it to really create a space for Black chefs and Black-owned restaurants in the Miami scene?
It's very important to create space, because there's so many, aspiring chefs that are here in Miami. They just don't know where to go. They don't see it. So it's very important for us when we create something like this, like a Chicken Jones, that we demand that people come to us and support us and get in front of the cameras and then show people that we are here. We taught America how to cook this food, and it should be really acknowledged.
Yes.
When I think back to slavery, he was the second White House chef, right? His name was James Heming, and he was French trained. He came back and perfected and created what we know as mac and cheese. He literally brought mac and cheese. He called it macaroni pie. But I just think about all the restaurants, how the world has embraced it, especially the United States.
Yeah, but I think it's so cool to see all the fusions of the diaspora here.
Yes.
And like you said, it's important for Black chefs and for Black restaurants to flourish. So we are back in the kitchen at Chicken Jones, and you make a lot of great things here.
Yes.
But today we're gonna do something healthy, a salad, right?
Yes.
So where are we starting?
We're gonna start with, I'm gonna have you put this kale right into here. So normally we take the stems off, and then we blanch the stems. We don't do there's no waste here at Chicken Jones. And then we make them into a sauce. These little stems are fine.
Yeah.
You can just break
But
it
for
just
the
like
bigger
this.
one.
The bigger one is the one that we save.
I love that. No waste.
No waste.
I see you love color. You love playing with things. What are some things you recommend to make sure we get the health and the flavor?
Look in the produce aisle, buy all the vegetables that kind of like speak to you and start just playing with them. Don't like want to sacrifice taste or flavor.
Yeah.
Add your favorite seasoning. As long as you're getting your vegetables in, I think that's what's really, really vital.
So when we think of food and tradition and recipes and passing it along, how important is that to share your recipes and your love for food with the next generation coming?
It's very important because we need to keep our legacy going. You don't want it to end.
I have had so much fun with you today. All these foods are so incredible, and I really love the way that nothing goes wasted. So you are just such a special woman, and you got a special business, so I can't wait to see when there's a million Chicken Jones everywhere. So I can't wait to see it.
Thank you so much. And that's right, we're gonna manifest that.
While tourists flock to Miami Beach, we're heading to the historic Overtown, a community that serves as a bedrock and a safe space built by our ancestors whose culture influenced entire generations. No one knows that more than Chef Aquino West and his wife, hospitality manager Jamila Ross, co-owners of Rosie's Restaurant and co-founders of Copper Door Bed and Breakfast.
We are here with Jamila and Aquino West, who are an incredible couple right here in Miami. I'm so excited to have y'all today because you're going to speak to me about a whole bunch of things that you all have done. But for anyone who doesn't know who you are you? And why is it so important that we talk to you here in Miami?
We are partners in business as well as in life.
I love that.
We started our entrepreneurial journey in 2018. We opened a 22-room bed and breakfast called the Copper Door B&B here in beautiful, historic Overtown.
So yeah, we're in Overtown. Used to be called Colortown.
Wow.
Obviously a beautiful place. Definitely has a lot of history that mainly focuses on Black history.
Why was it called Colored Town?
So originally, during times of segregation, there were spaces that were meant for people of color, and there are spaces that were meant for people of color. So this happened to be kind of the landmark space for Black entrepreneurship and success and business, as well as just like a residential lifestyle. It was very much a true community. And, Overtown in general is really known as a happening place with amazing music and great history. A lot of the well-known artists that we knew from that time would perform on Miami Beach, but due to segregation laws couldn't actually stay there. So they would make their way Overtown to enjoy, to live life, feel comfortable, and be within a space where people look like them.
Talk to me a little bit about Copper Door and what that meant to you all as far as creating connection within our community. Why was it important for you all to have a bed and breakfast?
Once the pandemic hit, we kind of switched gears. We're really restaurant people that have opened up a hotel. And so we kind of relied on what we originally knew and fell back on all of our skill sets in the kitchen to create a pop-up restaurant called Rosie's, which operates to this day. And we've gone from a pop-up space to a permanent space where we host guests for brunch and dinner.
I love the name Rosie's. Tell me why you named it Rosie's. And I heard the menu's very special. So tell me why this menu is very specific to you.
So we came up with the name Rosie's. We wanted something cute, but that also paid homage to our mothers and just our upbringing growing up. So Rosie is my mother's childhood nickname. Initially, we curated the menu to be kind of international. With the bed and breakfast concept, our guests would receive one dish every morning that everyone would enjoy simultaneously.
Wow.
So we really wanted to make sure that we created something that was still driven in breakfast. We wanted to make sure that we can still kind of that they could rely on us. So we kind of curated the menu based on home style foods. We want to create comfort food for a very uncomfortable time. And so we wanted to create that in order to create sustainability in our food purchases and food costs. And we were able to kind of play with different menu items. So for example, if we were serving pancakes one morning for breakfast and there was leftover batter, we would then create muffins and cookies out of that same base mix as snacks throughout the day.
So no wasted food, no reason to throw things away. I think that's so important. We're in front of the historic Lyric Theater, which if people who have not visited Miami in this part specifically before might not know about, what is this theater and why is it so important?
We're in the heart of Overtown
Yeah.
right now. The Lyric Theater was built many, many years ago. And like I mentioned before, entertainment was such an important part to this community. So this is the hub. This is our Apollo. This is where all the music goes down and all the great times happen. And even till today, the Black Archives live here. So original art pieces from outstanding artists like world-renowned Purvis Young, for example. So this is really like a true gem that they've been able, that the community has been able to maintain, and we're bringing it into a modern perspective. We've hosted everyone from Issa Rae. Oprah Winfrey has visited many of our businesses here in Overtown. So we're in a very special place.
I love that. And I hope people who are watching here today want to come and support this and the entire town, right? Because I think our ancestors will be proud.
They sure
came
were.
back. How important is that to tourism and patronage of the different parts of Miami overall?
It's the most important. Our economy is built and based on tourism. So when we isolate everyone's dollars to one particular place, we all lose out, right? The more that we're able to provide as a community, the more the experience grows at that point.
I love that.
So being able to be within business, especially in tourism, is so important. We just want to expose outsiders to, what it is to live like a local, where are the best places to eat, and how many cultural pockets there are. There's so many nationalities that take up Miami, so to focus on one or two isn't fair.
Speak. That's a word right there. Now we're gonna go inside because we over here melting our faces off, but I want to talk more about all that you do, and we are going to also make sure we include our other guests so we can all get a round table. So y'all ready?
Yes,
do it.
ready, let's do it.
Awesome.
Let's go.
Miami is a major hub for travel, entertainment, and culture. And while many people love celebrating all that South Beach has to offer, the residents who represent the melting pot of Caribbean and African communities here deserve to be celebrated too. To discuss how we can do this and more through passed down recipes, safe spaces, and food traditions, I asked Aquino, Jamila, and Amaris to join me for a delicious dinner with popular dishes of the diaspora.
So now we've got our food. Everybody is here, and I'm so excited to have Chef Amaris with Jamila and Aquino West. So we're gonna eat some of this chef approved food. Okay. And as we get into that, first, where are we? I have to ask you to tell me about the significance, especially for Black communities and Black history, of Clyde Killian's Pool Hall at Red Rooster.
Clyde Killian, he was an entrepreneur. He was a founder of this actual building. It was the place to be here. It was like in 1954. Muhammad Ali, Sammy Davis Jr., Aretha Franklin, all the greats.
There's a lined hallway with literal posters, album covers with everyone from Aretha to Sam Cooke, Sammy Davis. I mean, there's literally everybody there. Marvin Gaye. And I know that this was very significant because they couldn't hang out on South Beach. Can you talk to me a little bit about what this particular pool hall meant, especially with that context?
So when the notables, these entertainers would come in town, they would party with the community, and it was just so special.
I love that. And,
Yeah.
Even speaking about what safe spaces meant then and mean now, we saw downstairs in the Red Rooster restaurant, we were looking at the actual green book that had addresses in Miami of where travelers could go and feel safe, Black travelers in particular. Talk to me about any specific stories you might have heard about this space.
The green book was it was like the Black people's yellow pages,
Yes.
and it was literally all over the South. There were green books all over the South. So anywhere you travel, you had to find a green book and you would know where to stay.
Yeah. But why is it so important that Black chefs actually are at the helm of these major hotspots?
It's just really important for them to really see Black excellence for so many Black chefs. They want to show them that we can do it. We can have 5-star restaurants and be at the very, very top. We can be nominated for Michelin stars or nominated for a James Beard, just like Aquino.
Huh?
Chef Aquino.
You was nominated for what?
James Beard.
Tell me about this. Hold up before you. What is the James Beard and what did you get nominated for?
Yeah, so we own a restaurant called Rosie's in Little Hades. We've been nominated for a James Beard Award for Rising Star Chefs. You know, numerous accolades behind what we've been able to create.
I was just so inspired and just moved by that. And I think it's really important for us to support one another and really uplift one another when we're doing this.
I appreciate that.
I totally agree. I am always 100% overwhelmed when I'm able to stand in someone's dream and literal spaces where we've got Black leaders and Black entrepreneurs, Black chefs, Black hoteliers literally surrounding us. It inspires people to not only do the work it takes to create their own space, but to inhabit these spaces, to support them, to put our dollars behind them, and to feel proud of what you all have accomplished. What do you hope to see in the future of sustainability when it comes to restaurants?
I definitely say the lack of waste is something that's super important that we really have to touch on. You know, right now we're pickling our collard green stems. You know, so it's like charring your collard greens and pickling them, and then we use it as a garnish. You know, it's an addition of flavor that we're adding. And like I said before, we're not wasting anything.
You can take those collard greens and make pestos, a chimichurri. There's so many uses that you can use with like all your vegetables. You can take your vegetables that are about to go bad and puree them and put them in ice cubes. And put them in the freezer. So they'll be in the freezer for a couple months. Pull them out when you're ready to make a stew, anything, a flavor. There's so many ways that we can be sustainable at home.
I'm gonna piggyback off of Amber's idea because I have felt more recently very inspired by a lot, like globally, a great deal of Michelin star chefs and restaurants. They have their own gardens and farms.
Right.
So what I would love to see within our communities is a level of land ownership in order to grow our own produce and vegetables and create sustainability in that way.
I mean, isn't there a farm?
So we own the land next door, which is right here, and it's a Red Rooster Farm, and it's a hydroponic farm.
What's that?
It's a ginger garden.
It's a ginger garden. Hydroponic. It's like a car.
It sounds fancy. It's a sustainable way to grow. It's in a trailer. You'll see it outside. It's beautiful. We're growing herbs and some kale growing and
so you can utilize that.
We utilize that for the restaurants.
We've talked a lot today about food, tradition, culture, preserving what we have. And the reality is this is a really interesting time in Florida, to say the least. There's a lot of challenges at state leadership, politicians, the things that are happening right now. It can be scary for people who live here. And as people who create safe spaces, what does this moment feel like? And what do you hope people who travel here understand about how hard you all go to create safe spaces for Black culture to thrive?
Amidst all the chaos, it feels like a time to really educate our own and to utilize our power to the benefit of us. But when we have these forces up against us, letting us know how our schools are gonna be ran, I can't live in a community without, being able to share the truth about things. Absolutely.
What does the future look like for you? What do you hope to see in the future for Black chefs?
That we normalize the idea of a Black-owned restaurant or creating, high-level food, and us being the faces of that. I think that it will unite everyone together.
And I just want people to really understand that this is like American cuisine is really our cuisine.
Absolutely.
And it needs to be put to the forefront. The stories are out there, but we just really need to put it to the forefront.
Thank you all for literally creating safe spaces for us to come in Miami. And I'm excited because now more people know that y'all are here. So I'm excited to see, how many people come and support. But thank you so much for having us today.
Thank you. Honestly.
I had so much excited. Thank you. Now let's get back to this food.
Okay. Let's get back to this food.
No matter who threatens to uproot us, we continue to protect our history and our identity. Thank you to our guests who represent a driving force in the battle to save our traditions, neighborhoods, and to keep our culture sacred. Our village is powerful. This season, I've met some incredible people who are taking necessary actions to change lives. And especially here in Florida, there are so many more. Women like State Representative Angie Nixon, comic creator Jamila Rouser, or founder founder of the Black Archives History and Research Foundation, Dorothy Jenkins Fields, just to name a few. Thank you to the leaders who have created movements that are transforming our neighborhoods and our nation. In our very first season on TV, we touched on everything from funding HBCUs to Black ownership to wellness and food access. This show was created to explore solutions to various challenges in the Black community. Nothing is solved with one conversation, but we hope that these episodes move you to take action where it matters. And in case you were wondering, More Than That means we are more powerful than the challenges presented to us, more than what society puts on us, and more capable than what we even realize. We hope this show reminded you of that. Thank you so much for tuning in. For more resources and information, check out our website and follow us on all socials at More Than That Show.